right, everyone. I am Joe DeHoyos. I'm the host of Beyond the Woodline, and I want to welcome everyone tonight. Before we actually get started, I want to talk to you about some things that are going on with the show. One thing is that uh, looks like in the beginning of the year next year, I'll probably go more to a true podcast format that'll be pre-recorded and probably audio only, and I'll probably use Spotify and Anchor for that. Just because it's a lot easier to record. And like yesterday, I had issues with my internet, so my internet was down. And if I had recorded it, previously or whatever, I'd be able to still release it on Sunday or Thursday or whatever. Uh, so I kind of hate that. And that's happened to me a couple of times where guests couldn't come on, and we're trying to find last minute replacements and stuff like that. And we're doing a live show. It's kind of a hard situation to be in, and try to provide a quality content that I really want to provide. So I think by going to more of a recorded format and just doing audio only, I think that'll be a better format for a lot of us, and it'll be something people can truly look forward to tuning in on Sunday night or Monday nights whenever I release the shows, and which I still haven't decided on that part yet. And then also, there's I guess some business opportunities where we'll be making T-shirts and hats, and not just for me, but for other groups or people or anyone else interested in doing that. It doesn't have to be within this paranormal realm that we live in. I'm actually trying to make it a business. Then I'm probably going to have a sponsor for the show too, so I'm looking forward to doing that too. So a lot of big things, and I also have another podcast in the works that I think some of you guys may or may not enjoy. But if you guys enjoy the some recreational smoking, I think you guys would like that show. Uh, I certainly enjoy it, and that's what that show will be about. Just talking about different strains of marijuana, basically, and the benefits, and we'll try to keep it as professional as we can, but no guarantees, no guarantees. But yeah, that's what I'm working on, and but I know you guys didn't tune in to hear me talk about me, and uh, as always, I have try to have great guests, and I've got one tonight for sure. We've been talking a little bit before we actually came on the air, and he's a great guy already. I like him already. So, Mr. Bryan Jon Laverty, Lafferty,
Laverty, yeah, Laverty.
Laverty. Okay, good deal.
Yeah,
Good deal.
yeah, it's all good. A lot of people will mispronounce it, so it's okay. No worries.
Okay, good. I actually pronounced it right before we came on, and now I came on here and I mispronounced it. But yeah, you're the founder of Hunterphobia and also the founder of Parapost. And
Yeah.
uh, Hunterphobia can be found on YouTube and Paraflix. And if you wouldn't mind, real quick, why don't you tell us a little bit about Hunterphobia?
Well, Hunterphobia basically started in the middle of COVID. to be
Really?
honest, I've been I've been doing paranormal investigation. That was my bad because I used to be a private investigator.
Oh, nice.
So paranormal investigations started probably about it's almost been 9 years, and I went out on investigations with groups and stuff like that. So I was with people, but in the middle of COVID or near the beginning of COVID, I was just sitting on YouTube watching different things and watching some paranormal shows and videos. And I said, you know what? I'm not doing anything right now. Nobody's doing anything right now. I'm going to go out and video or film. I said video. That tells you how old I am. So I went out and filmed, and I went to a place and filmed, and I love it, obviously. And I figured, you know what? I'm going to start my own. I'm going to put some videos up on YouTube and see what kind of response I get. And that's how it really started for me. I got my son wanted to come out with me. He had a good friend that was a camera person, and I just started there, and that's when the videos started going up on YouTube, and it's been a wild ride since.
Nice, nice. So is filming something you've always been interested in?
Yeah, it has because not there are some people that know this, but I'm also an actor here in
Okay.
Toronto, and so I was a fairly decent actor when I was in my 20s, and I did quite a bit in my 20s, but I kind of left the industry and then went back within it. I went back to it about 2 years ago, and I've been doing extremely well. So I've done about 14 shows here in Canada
Oh,
in the 2
nice.
years. Yeah,
Nice.
so it's been good for sure.
All right, man. I like that. That's pretty good. You ever done anything big budget films?
Yeah. I it's mainly been TV shows and it's funny because the typical roles that I usually get are usually a cop
Okay.
or a sergeant or a detective or some kind of authority figure.
Right.
Those seem to be my roles that I
Okay.
get. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, when you log on to it asks for permission to
Mm.
you use your name, and that's why you're only showing up as Facebook user. But yeah, man, that's cool, man. And you're also the founder of the Parapost Network. What's
Yes.
that about?
Parapost Network came together. I was strolling through the other social media platforms, and I have to be honest, and like we were talking a little bit before the show started, and when you go to these like Facebooks and Twitter and Instagram, there's so much stuff that you have to go through in order to find what you want to find.
Right.
And to me, it was just ridiculous. And I didn't understand why the paranormal field didn't have their own platform, because we're the paranormal field is big. Like
Right.
it's all over the world. So I approached a friend of mine about starting the site, and I said, "What are your thoughts?" And he goes, "You don't even have to ask me twice, and we started it. He's since left it, but I'm not. I didn't. I said, I'm still gonna. My mission is to make this successful, to get paranormal teams, cryptics, UFOs, supernatural, anything under the umbrella of the paranormal, which I have a passion for. I just wanted to build, and now it seems to be getting some traction, which I'm really, really happy about. And people are joining. People are joining the site and enjoying it and posting their pictures. And the great thing is, if some of the people in your room that don't know this, if you go to the site, you can actually sync your YouTube channel to Parapost. So every
Okay.
time you upload a new video on YouTube, it automatically uploads on Parapost.
Dude, that's
And
nice.
we're actually the only platform that does that.
Oh, that's I didn't even know you could do that. So that's
Yeah,
great. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's pretty good. Yeah, and I like
So
that.
basically, like I said, it's doing extremely well. I'm really happy that it's doing well. And the great thing is, and one thing I really love is I'm connecting with other investigators that I never knew about.
Yeah,
And I'm friending them because our platform is not a friend to friend.
right.
It's an open community. So if you join the site, you're going to see everybody's stuff. You don't have to friend somebody just to see their stuff. It's not working that way. It's an open community base, and we're going to keep it that way. And so that way, if anybody joins the site, they're going to get to see all this stuff. And if they're an enthusiast, they can join the site too.
That's nice. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
it. Where did they go to find the site?
You can download it through iOS or Android, and you
Mhm.
just type in Parapost Network, and it will show right up. It's
Okay.
doing extremely well. Google, I'm happy with Google right now because they're really pushing it.
Good.
They're really pushing it, which I really love, and because it's just a great site to go to if you really love everything paranormal.
That's awesome, man. I
Yeah,
like that. I'm definitely gonna check it out myself. Yeah, I didn't know
thank
all
you.
that, dude. Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, and there's some features in the site. There's some features coming up. I announced one feature that was coming up from the show last night. I was on a show last night. We made an announcement because I partnered up with somebody on ghost equipment. So if you go to the site, you hit shop, and it'll take you right to his site, and you can buy. If you need some ghost equipment, you can buy it. And he's got great equipment. He's D Ghost. He's a new partner with Parapost, so it's great. The relationship, I think, is going to be wonderful, and I'm really excited about that. But I made an announcement, kind of a new feature coming out soon, because I was looking at the analytics yesterday, and we're getting people from all over the world, even as far as Berlin.
Wow.
There's people checking out the site.
Yeah.
And I say to myself, okay, well, they checked out the site, they went to it. Why didn't they sign up? Well, maybe it's because they don't speak English. So I'm adding a new feature that when you go to the site, it's going to be somewhere in the top that you can click on it, and it will change it to your language.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good feature to have too. I never
Yeah.
thought about that, but yeah, that's good.
And that's what I mean. It's about all these paranormal groups coming together, whether you're into the paranormal, whether you're into the UFOs, whatever it is. And if you're an enthusiast, I want you to enjoy the site as well. And if you're not understanding because it's in English and you speak like French or Portuguese or Spanish, just click that button and it's going to go into your language.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
And a while ago, you mentioned partnering up with someone about the equipment. Do you want to give him a shout out?
Yeah, it's D Ghost. It's DEEZ Ghost. Great guy. His name is Jesse Stewart. And you go to the site. I can't tell people this because if you're looking for paranormal equipment, you have to go to the site. And once you go to the site, you can use the code to get a discount on the equipment.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of equipment's available?
It's everything, man. It's so many different things, like EMF meters, REM pods. He's got a really cool thing. I'm not into the doll thing, but he's got a doll. It's called Annabelle, and
Okay.
it's like an EMF. I'm not a doll person. I don't like dolls. So dolls scare the crap out of me. You know what?
Yeah.
Paranormal doesn't scare me, but dolls do for some reason. I don't know why.
They're just so creepy, man.
Yeah, they're creepy. And this one looks like Annabelle, the famous doll.
Yeah. Okay.
Annabelle. And it's like a REM pod. You get closer and it goes off. It's bad enough I don't like dolls, but to see one light up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
But
too much fun right there.
it's at the end of the day, he's a great guy, and he's a good fit for Parapost, and that's why I brought him on board. And again, you go into the site at the top, depending if you're on a laptop or PC or phone. If you're on your phone, you hit the menu on the left-hand side, and it will come down. You hit shop, and it directly goes to his site. So if you're interested in any kind of paranormal equipment, that's where you want to go.
Cool, man. Cool.
Yeah.
So, what were you into first? Was it paranormal with the cryptids, UFOs, or what got you
Paranormal?
involved?
Yeah, paranormal is my thing. Lately I've been putting paranormal investigators in categories, and I think there's different categories for paranormal investigators. I think there's science paranormal investigators, and then there's paranormal investigators that are just going out to hunt for paranormal, and then you have your paranormal investigators where they're hunting, but they really, really want to capture that evidence and get the answers. And that's who I am. I'm the paranormal investigator that wants to capture the evidence, but also get the answers.
Nice. So what got you personally started into the paranormal?
Well, long story short, when I was about 9 years old, I soon realized as a kid I could do things other kids couldn't do. So I could see things other kids couldn't see. So I'm considered a sensitive, and I'm able to see things other people can't see. Like if I go into a haunted place, sometimes and for some reason it goes off and on with me, but I can see the spirit, whether it's a spirit or whether it's demonic, and so I have those abilities. Unfortunately, with those abilities, I can't see facial features and I can't hear them. So for some odd reason, and that's a whole nother story for maybe another show. But so when I had my very, very first experience with the paranormal being touched when I was about 15 years old, and I was down at my friend's place. His grandmother recently passed, So I was down at his place probably about 3 weeks after she passed away, and I was sitting on his bed. We were talking, and all of a sudden I felt a hand touch my wrist, and then it almost felt like a head was leaning on my shoulder, and it lasted for about 30 seconds, and then it was gone. But the weird thing about it is, and it validated it, was I looked to my right after this happened. There was an actual indent in the bed,
Okay.
like somebody was sitting beside me. Now, when his grandmother was alive, she used to do that to me. She used to put her hand on my wrist and put her head on my shoulder, and so we figured it was his grandmother saying goodbye. Because I don't know if I'm sure you've heard of this before, but when people say they get touched by spirit, it's like a cold feeling.
Right.
This was a very warm feeling, and it was a very loving feeling. It was almost like her saying goodbye to me.
That was nice. How long after she had passed did that happen?
About 3 weeks.
Okay.
It was about 3 weeks. And then after that happened, I'd really, really want to discover who I was and what I had and what I could do. I grew up with the type of family where paranormal people or mediums and all that stuff were crazy people. So unfortunately, my abilities I kept quiet for a very, very long time, and nobody knew what I could do, and I kept it quiet. But I could be walking down the street, I would see it, and I would keep quiet. And it got to a certain point where I just ignored it so much. For me, it just wasn't happening around me anymore, because I ignored it so much. But it wasn't until probably about 9 years ago where I went on my it's probably longer than that, but I really started opening up about it a little bit more. But it's only been within the 9 years, or even in the last couple of years, that I've really come forward and told people about it. But my very first investigation that I went on is about 9 years ago. It was a house investigation, and I walked into the house and I saw something demonic. And so when I see something, it's like the best way I can describe it is when I see a spirit, it's like a black mass. It's like a solid black mass, but I can tell if it's a woman or a male or a female. I can tell. But when it comes to something demonic, for me, it's like a translucent black smoke, and it moves around the room very, very slowly. So my very first investigation that I ever went on, that's what I walked into, and it was in the family room of this house, and it was almost like it owned the room. And demonic can be very scary, and I don't like demonic at all. And when I see them, I don't like it, and I usually try to leave that area because I don't think people realize how dangerous they can be.
And do you still do out investigations?
Oh yeah, because those are the videos that are going up on Paraflix, right? So I'm entering my third season in January on Paraflix, and the first and second season were extremely successful, and some great investigations. And I'm looking forward to the third season, for everybody to see the third season, because it's going to be really, really good. So I actually have a video coming out tonight. Actually, it's behind the scenes at a prison. So that's being released tonight. There's a prison about 4 hours away from me that's abandoned, and it's called Burwash Prison. And I did an investigation there, and it's up on Paraflix right now. It was a 3-part series, and the behind the scenes is going up tonight.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's being released at 10 p.m. Eastern time.
So, like, how old were you when you realized that what you were seeing was paranormal?
Between the ages of 8 and 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, did you just put the 2 and 2 together, or what was that like?
Yeah, it took me a little while to figure out, but if, for example, if I was in a park and I saw something and I said something to like a friend or a parent, or not even my parents, a friend or something like that, I would say something, look at this, and they wouldn't see it, and I did. So that's when I really soon discovered that I was seeing things other people or other kids couldn't see. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, that's kind of strange, but it's pretty cool at the same time.
Yeah, I think initially it scared me a little bit because and again, I don't tell people this and I'm telling you, but they were coming in my room as well. And I don't know if you're a 7 or 8 or 9-year old and you're having things coming in your room and trying to converse with you.
Right.
It's not necessarily a good thing as a child.
Right.
So
Yeah. So I guess these spirits realized that you could see them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was, and it's funny because I was asked this question last week because I explained the park one, and they said, "Do you think they saw you?" Again, I don't really see facial features,
Right.
but again, I can tell if it's a male or female,
Mhm.
and I don't know. It was crazy when I was a kid. It really was crazy when I was a kid.
So, like, can you distinguish, like, okay, this is the same one that comes around all the time? You know what I'm saying? This is the same person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Can you?
that's interesting. That's an interesting question. And yeah, I can tell. And
Really?
that's more of a feeling. That's more of a
Okay.
feeling. It's not something that when I look at them, I go, oh, okay, yeah, you were here before. No, it's more of a feeling. And it's interesting. Nobody's ever asked me that question.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I was thinking about that. And so, do you have one in particular that still comes around for a long time, or do they kind of come and
No,
go?
no, no.
Okay.
No, not at all. It's what I see is different. What I see is
Okay.
different. And there was one that was here that I brought home from an investigation,
Right.
and I could see her, and I knew she was here. I did a couple of, and I don't recommend this for anybody if they have something in their home, like doing your own kind of investigation. Have somebody actually come in and do it for you. But I did a couple of EVP sessions, and she actually came out, and I still have it on my phone. She actually said on the voice recording, she said, "I love you."
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that was necessarily somebody I knew or
Yeah.
this woman that I brought home from this church because
Mhm.
that's where I got her from. I got her from a church. I went back to that church and she went back with me, but um,
Okay.
uh, very, very sad woman. Very, very sad.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I was going to ask you that too. Can you feel their emotions, or do you?
Yeah. Sometimes I can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Not very often though. And again, I've had I've had several mediums tell me why they think I go through these struggles of
Mhm.
trying to see facial features or hearing them or anything along those lines is because I still have that negativity in the back of my head from my family saying they don't exist.
Right.
And every time I see something, the first thing in the back of my head is the negativity. It's not there. You're crazy and all those things. And they figure that's probably one of the reasons why I block it out and
Okay.
why it goes off and on all the time because I could see them one day and then for a week I might not see them again.
Mhm. Is that just you consciously or subconsciously second guessing yourself?
It could
Yeah.
be, but I think it has more to do with the negativity that I grew up with about
Okay.
it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
easy. You know what? And people just say let it go, let it go, let it go. It's not as easy
It's
as
not.
it's not as easy as people think it is. Like if you're told something for 15, 16, 17 years, that's drilled into your head
Yeah.
and it's hard to get rid of.
Especially when it's your family. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's hard, and we talk about that when we talk to like people who are like in the Bigfoot community, especially the Bigfoot community, and
Hmm.
they see a Bigfoot, and the first people they want to go tell is their family, and then they get either ridiculed, told they're crazy, told they didn't see that, so they shut down and they never talk about it for years and years and years. I talked to people who hadn't talked about their sighting in 10, 15, 20 years because they got shut down
Wow.
by their family. You know,
And this is the great thing about and I've met some fantastic people along the line, and especially within the last couple of weeks, I've just met some fantastic people, and you're going to run into those type of people all the time with the negativity and stuff like that. But you know what? I'm starting to learn very, very quickly, and it's taken me this long. You just got to shut that out, and you just got to move on to the people that are really supporting you and have your back. And because unfortunately, and I don't like to think about this, but there is some people in this industry that unfortunately are in it for the right reasons.
Right. Yeah, we kind of touched on that too, and there's a
Yeah,
lot of egos out there, unfortunately, and there's nothing wrong with having an ego as long as you keep it in check.
yeah,
That's what I think.
yeah,
I think we all have egos, we all have pride, right? And
yeah. Of course, of
but
course.
we all got to keep it in check. We can't let that get a hold of us.
I'm a very I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm a laid back person, but I'm a very humble person,
Yeah,
and I'm definitely the type of person that will do anything for anybody if they ask me. But that's what I'm like, and that's what I've always been like, and that's something I won't change. But unfortunately, sometimes bad comes with that
right,
because people will tend to walk on you about that. But again, I'm not going to change myself just
yeah,
because somebody did something wrong to me. You know what I mean? And
right,
it's just I am who I am, and I like who I am. I
right,
do, and I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. And if somebody needs my help, I'm going to help them.
right. Yeah, and that's good. That's kind of the way I see myself too. I try
Yeah.
to help out anyone I can help. We talk about Bad to the Bone, man, and I love them girls right away. And
Oh yeah.
I promote the
Amazing.
hell out of their stuff, and I share their stuff every time I see it. Just because I like them so much. But there's so many other people that I do that too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If I see them post something and I'll share it. I'll make sure other people go to their stuff and go to their pages. And,
I think that's one of the reasons why I had a Facebook page that was open. It was an open forum, so people can go in there and post what they want to post. And I like that. I like seeing other people's stuff. I
yeah,
want people to post their stuff on my page.
yeah,
And I want people to go to Parapost and post their stuff because I love that. I think if we can somehow get rid of all this negativity that happens all the time, we would be a much better world. And I love when people go to my Facebook page and post stuff. I
yeah,
I tell them to do it.
yeah,
I said,
yeah,
listen, dude, don't be scared to post on my page. Post on my page.
right,
I'm not one of those people that you can only post your group on Mondays.
right,
I don't understand that. I don't understand that, but that's them. If
right,
that's the way they want to do things, that's the way they. I'm not going to fault them for that.
right.
But with my page, if you want to post your group by all means.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the majority of my posts. People posting their podcasts, people
Yeah.
posting their shows, people going live, and man, I love it. I think it's great. I think that's the only way we're going to grow as a community. And
There's a
that
big word that I've heard a lot over the last 2 to 3 weeks. And I think, Matt from the Paranormal Consultant, he's big on it. And we're starting to become good friends. And he uses para unity. And I think
right,
it's important.
right,
And there's so many people out there today that are in the paranormal world that talk about it, but don't live behind it. You know what I mean?
right.
And I don't know. It's just it's weird. It's weird. I love this industry. I have such a passion for it, but it's weird. It's really weird. Like
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just it's great though. It's different.
yeah. The drama can give it a black eye, I guess, at times. But
Yeah, I'm not, and I will let people know that people that are going to join the site. And I told Joe before we came on the show here, the one thing I love about my site, there's absolutely no drama, none, absolutely none. Now, like I said to Joe behind stage, now that I said that, anything. but
it'll be me and you Monday going at it about something.
but the great thing is I have the delete button, so it's
Yeah,
all good.
yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah.
So what about the cryptid world? What got you involved in that?
I'm really not too much involved in the cryptic world, to be honest. I'm a big fan of it.
Right.
I for me, the famous thing has always been the Sasquatch,
Mhm.
and I love seeing videos on it. I love reading about it. I love researching it. I know there's been a lot of sightings lately here in Canada, in Calgary, being mainly one of them. And yeah, so I'm not huge into that side of the world, but I'm definitely piques my interest.
Yeah. Well, that's what got me started in all this. I research Bigfoot. I still do. I was out
Mm.
last weekend or the weekend before. I'm probably out at least once a month, you know. Um, but yeah, that's what got me started into all this. Even though I've had uh, paranormal,
Mm.
uh, encounters, and I've even seen the UFO twice. I haven't yet to see a squatch, but I've definitely had a lot of vocals and
Come out
rocks
to Calgary.
thrown.
They're supposedly all over Calgary.
Yeah, man. Actually, Canada's a place that I really want to go.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of friends in Canada, and one in
There's
particular I
actually
recently.
been a sighting of and it's not too far from here. It's about I think it's about 4 hour drive, and the Wendigo.
Yeah, the Wendigo is big in Canada,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah, I know people, and I've talked to people who've had encounters with that, and I'd
yeah.
really love to, check it out and investigate it for myself.
Yeah, it's about 4 hours from here. I think the latest story was they heard they didn't see it, but they heard the streams from it.
Okay.
And people were camping and they heard the streams, and it wasn't like a bear or anything like that. It was the stream of what they think is the Wendigo, which I think is pretty cool. Obviously, I would not want to be in front of it, and I think I'd be rather in front of a Sasquatch than a Wendigo. That's for sure.
Yeah. What exactly is a Wendigo? Is it something spiritual, supernatural? Is it a flesh and blood?
It's a very, very ugly animal.
Mhm.
I think it looks like an animal. It's very, very ugly,
Yeah.
and I think it's something. I Now correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong in this, but this is something that was something to do with Native Indians.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess there were two Native Indians, and I think either one or both turned into a Wendigo. I don't know the full story on it, and I don't want to say
Yeah.
something that is not true, but um, I think that's where the Wendigo story generated.
Okay.
I'm not sure on that. I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but again, when it comes to the cryptics, the UFOs, I'm very interested in. I saw a UFO when I was a kid, but cryptics and all that stuff is mainly because it's all under the umbrella of the paranormal, and that's why if people are in cryptics or UFOs and all that stuff, they can come over to Parapost as well.
Cool. Cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. Me and my friends down here, we always go up to San Luis Forest, and that's where we do the majority of our research, and we get pretty good stuff there, man. We got a lot of good vocals and weird
Oh, so
noises.
you've captured vocals?
Yeah, we've got vocals, prints,
Nice.
tree breaks and tree twists where the branches are just like flung like a dish rag.
So do you
That's,
prefer cryptics more over spirits?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recently got actually. I'm recently within the last 3 months, man. I'm like throwing myself into the UFO field. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, I've just like immersed myself with all that stuff, and I'm watching all kinds of YouTube videos and checking out
Hmm.
documentaries on TV now. And but just because
It's
I've had some
interesting.
weird experiences myself within the last few months, so
Oh,
I
really?
was really
I've only
yeah.
seen I've only seen it once, and I think I'm pretty lucky that I got to see it once because there's people in their lifetime that don't see it at all. So I was 7 years old when I saw it, and I happened to be sleeping, and there were streams on the street because everybody saw it, and it was massive.
Really?
And yeah, oh, it was massive. Like it had to be 4 football field lengths. That's how
Wow.
big it was. And when I woke up, because I heard screams, and there were people on the street streaming because there it was, and it was almost like you could reach out. You could actually reach out and touch it. That's how close it was.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's big.
Well, it was nice, but not nice at the time.
Yeah.
You know, so that's been my only one experience with UFOs, but I've had plenty of experiences with paranormal.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Um, so what are your favorite places to investigate? Do you have a favorite spot,
mm,
paranormal?
that's a good question. I've done all my investigations up to this point in Canada. And we have some history in Canada. We have some
Right.
good spots in Canada. There's two places that I really, really love. There's one place called Blue Ghost Tunnel. I absolutely love this place. It's in the top 10 list of most haunted spots in Canada. I actually just released a video last week on YouTube, actually, Blue Ghost Tunnel. And the amount of EVPs that I've captured in that video, it's the most I've ever captured on an investigation. It was crazy. And there's another place I love going to, and it's not well known. The place is called Sewell's Bridge, and I've done so much research on this place. I cannot find why it's haunted. I
Hmm.
can't. I can't. I've done so much. The only thing I can figure is maybe years and years and years and years ago, maybe it was a burial ground of some type underneath, but I cannot find any information on this place except about 2 kilometers away there was a bus crash which killed a lot of kids. But that was 2 kilometers away. Other than that, there's absolutely nothing I can find. But I'm telling you, you go to this place, soon as you get underneath, it's not on top of the bridge, it's underneath the bridge. You have to go. And every time I go there, my stomach, as soon as I get underneath the bridge, my stomach starts turning, and I start seeing things. And there's a lot there. There's a lot. And I actually had a medium look at one of my videos, and she thinks she knows what's going on there. She said there's something very nasty there. It's not demonic. Something very nasty that's actually blocking a door, which is a portal for the spirits to go through, and it's not allowing them to go through this portal. So that's why there are so many there. But every time I go there, I'm capturing stuff on the camera, the microphone, the voice recording, the K2, everything that I bring out, I'm catching something.
Oh, that's cool, man. So, do
Yeah,
you have a bucket list of places that you do want to check out, whether it's here or
yeah,
in Canada?
my number one spot I really, really want to do, and hopefully I'm going to get there soon, is Suicide Forest in Japan.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've heard of that one. Yeah,
Yeah, that's my
yeah.
number one spot that I want to go to. My second spot, uh, there's a place here in Canada that's actually the number one supposedly haunted place. It's in Vancouver. It's called Tranquil Sanatorium,
Hmm.
and it's an asylum,
Okay.
and it's almost like it's a little town because all the buildings around it are abandoned. But actually, it's funny. I saw one of those B movies. I saw one
Right,
of those B movies the other day, and they were actually filming inside this asylum in the movie. I thought it was pretty cool.
right, right. It seems like prisons and asylums are pretty popular places to check out, right?
Yeah, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of prisons around here. I think there's only three, or wait a minute, there might be four, but I think all of them are abandoned. But the problem is they're fenced, and you can't get in them.
Hmm.
And the one that I can get in, it's owned by somebody, and you need permission to get into it. But the other ones are fenced, and they have security cameras, and you can't go into them. So I would love to get into a couple of them, but unfortunately, they don't give you permission to go inside. So
Yeah,
what are you
yeah.
gonna
That's
do? It is what
unfortunate.
it is.
Yeah, and
Unfortunately, a lot of paranormal investigators, and they can back me up on this. Let's be honest. A lot of us paranormal investigators go into places where you're not supposed to be going.
yeah.
I don't
Well,
want to
that's
use that T word, but
yeah.
because it could get me in trouble.
Right, right. Yeah. I mean, it happens, in I think in every field. I've certainly have ventured onto property I probably shouldn't have been venturing off of. Not that I like go deep into it, I might get off a roadside and check some stuff out. But especially here in
Well,
Texas, man, you don't
yeah,
go on anyone
it's
else's
funny.
property.
I find it funny here in Canada when it comes to, because there's some businesses that I've gone into that I've investigated, and they're still ongoing businesses. But I don't know what it is with the businesses in Canada. If they have a haunting and people know about it, and you ask if you can come in and investigate, and you're going to put that video, they don't want you to do it. They're afraid it's going to hurt the business. But
Right.
in States or the UK, they embrace it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it makes it a little more challenging here in Canada because there's only so many spots, right?
Right.
We're only a country that's 150 years old. In
Yeah.
the States, it's 220,
Yeah. Something like
I
that. Yeah.
think. And then you got all that stuff behind that. But then you're
Yeah.
looking at the UK where it's centuries and centuries, you know,
Right.
of history. And so there are some places, but not as many as the States and Europe and stuff like that. So
Yeah. There's like here in downtown, there are restaurants and bars that are something haunted, and people flock to these places just to hopefully have an encounter. Whether they're having dinner or whatever. And it
yeah,
helps the business. It helps the
yeah,
business.
and you know what? People in Canada don't think that way. They think it's going to hurt their business,
Hmm.
and it's not. And I don't know. Like I read some stats not too long ago that 95% of people in this world are intrigued by the paranormal or anything underneath the paranormal.
Yeah.
95%.
Yeah.
And they also say 82% of people in this world have encountered something within the paranormal world,
Right.
whether it's UFOs, whether it's cryptics, whether it's supernatural, whether it's spirits. That's a
Yeah.
high number.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is with Canadian people, or Canadian businesses, but they think it's going to hurt their business. I think personally myself, I tell them it's going to flourish your business.
Right.
you know, I have an investigation coming up. It's going to be in a bar and an inn, and they actually publicize that they're haunted. So that's the only reason why I'm able to get in there, because now they're embracing it, right? They have somebody coming in, it's going to investigate. They want that, So I'm looking forward to that. Supposedly, from what I've been told, it's the number one haunted spot in Canada when it comes to an open business like a bar or a hotel, because that's what it is. So I'm really looking forward to that investigation. It's going to be great.
Cool, man. Yeah, I look forward to checking your content out when you get it all
Yeah.
squared away.
Yeah. It's going to be. I got another investigation coming up on the 8th, and that's a museum.
Mhm.
And then I got one possibly at the end of January. That's going to be great, but it looks like next March there's a good possibility that this is going to happen. That I'm going to be traveling out to the UK.
Oh, dude, that's really
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. I'm really, really looking forward to that. So it's going to be. It's one of There's some spots in the UK that I really want to, get to. Like I would love to go to the Sherwood Forest and see if it is
Yeah,
really haunted.
right.
It's spots like that are on my fairly big list of
Yeah,
haunted spots that I want to go to. So,
yeah. I've got a feeling it's haunted just because I mean it's an old forest. I'm
so
sure
is it
stuff happened.
Did Robin Hood really exist?
I
Who
don't
knows?
know. Yeah, who
You,
knows?
you,
I guess,
you don't know, right? And that's why I want to go there. See, that's the type of investigator I am.
yeah.
I use a tagline that I think is great. I like my tagline is I'm searching for what lies beyond death.
Hmm.
That's kind of my tagline that I like, and that's what I'm doing. Like I did an investigation uh probably about 6 months ago, and this place in Canada, it's got like two or three different stories on why it's haunted, and I think I found out the real answer on why it's haunted on a EVP that I captured.
What was that?
So basically, this place is called the Streaming Tunnel. and
Okay.
there's 3 stories. Unfortunately, there was a girl that was murdered in this tunnel, or died in this tunnel. The first one is sad. She was sexually assaulted, and then she was killed, and unfortunately, she was set on fire to get rid of any evidence. So that's one story. There's another story where her parents were going through a nasty divorce, and the father set the house on fire, and the girl was still in the house, and she got severely burned. She ran down to the tunnel and ended up dying because the tunnel wasn't too far from where she lived, and to hide, and she ended up dying. And then there's another story concerning the family as well. Um, During my investigation, I asked a question. It's near the end of the investigation. I asked a question: did you die in this tunnel? Straightforward question. On the SB7, I actually captured burnt from home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty
So,
cool.
yeah, it was very, very cool. And that kind of answered kind of the burning question, no pun intended, but that,
Mhm.
that kind of answered the question on, because there's been a story that she was sexually assaulted and murdered in the tunnel. Well, there's now, it could have been another spirit that was in the tunnel that was saying that. Who knows? But that kind of answered the question on what's really going on in that tunnel.
Yeah, and I like that story. I mean, I know it's a tragic story, but I like
Yeah,
that story, and I like that you got some kind of validation or
yeah,
confirmation about it.
yeah. And that video is actually up on Paraflix.
Okay. Cool.
It was a great video. I captured quite a few EVPs in that video, and that EVP that I captured on the SB7 at the end is just incredible.
Yeah.
Just incredible. I'll tell you another little story about this tunnel. So, if the story's true about this girl and her house was caught on fire, supposedly the foundation of the house is still there, and
Mhm.
supposedly it's filled with all kinds of energy, and you can go there and you can possibly capture stuff. But we were looking for this foundation, so we walked. I was probably about 300 meters away from the tunnel in this open field looking for this foundation. And I asked a question. I said, Can you help us find it? Can you let me know where it is? Can you help us find it?" And on the SB7, and this clip is on YouTube, by the way, because I put up a little clip of it. It actually said the response was, "You'll never find it." And
Wow.
then probably about 5 minutes later, I said, "Is it behind us or is it in front of us?" And through the SB7, it said the other side. Said the other side, and what that meant was it was on the other side of the road. We were on the wrong side of the road.
Damn.
Yeah, and that clip is on my YouTube channel as well. It's just incredible, some of the stuff that I've captured over the years.
Mhm. So have you ever been scared, like legit scared?
Yes,
Really?
definitely. And one just recently, actually, I did an investigation on 3 businesses last year, and I collabed a bunch of other paranormal groups to do this investigation. And we were doing 3 businesses at the same time. And the second business that I was in, during the investigation, I started coughing. I started losing my breath, and it actually felt like there was a hand around my throat. And I started choking. I couldn't breathe. So we ended up having to stop filming for about 10-15 minutes. And I actually ran to, and it's funny because it's a salon, and it's a hair salon, which I thought was, weird enough, but I had to run to the basin to get a drink of water, and yeah, we had to stop filming for about 10-15 minutes, and that was probably one of my scariest moments. And then there was another moment that at the Sewell's Bridge, I went by myself, which I never recommend,
What?
and it scared the crap out of me because there was so much going on, and it actually felt like something was surrounding me.
Yeah.
So I'd never done Well, I have done one other alone challenge, I guess you'd like to call them, but in that church, and that church is crazy. But other than that, I try to stay away from going alone because honestly, it's just not safe.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always a bad idea to go by yourself. I've actually
Yeah.
wandered off into the forest by myself and got turned around and got lost. And man, somebody was watching over me because my in that part of the woods, my phone never works. And I just said, man, let me just try my Google Maps. Shoot, Google Maps popped right on up that day, so I got lucky.
Well,
I,
that's
I,
funny because,
yeah.
yeah, and it's weird because that kind of happens to me in Blue Ghost Tunnel. Every time I hit the certain part of the tunnel, my SB7 stops.
Mm,
Like the that
correct.
noise, it stops, but the voices still come through. Every time I hit a certain spot in the tunnel. Now that could be various different reasons why that's happening, but it's happened to me like 2 or 3 times,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just weird. And I've been in this tunnel like 4 or 5 times. It's
Mm-hmm.
just such an amazing place. And any of my friends that are from the UK or the States, the first place they want to go to is Blue Ghost Tunnel because it's amazing. It's an amazing place. And the amount of evidence that you capture in this place is crazy. And I understand why it's on the top 10 list in Canada because it's, and I actually say it in the video that I released last week. I say the greatest thing about this tunnel is every time you come here, you're going to capture something on your voice recording. You're going to catch something on your mic. You're going to catch something on your K2. Whatever you use, you are going to capture something.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about the Same East Forest. Man, 95% of the time we go out there, I mean, we catch something. There's
What's
something
the
going
forest
on.
called? Sorry, what's the forest called?
The Same East National Forest.
Okay.
Yeah, it's north of Houston, about an hour.
Okay.
So it's not that far for me at all to drive. And my friend Walter lives like 20 minutes from there, so he's
Oh,
lucky that he can
so
drive
does
out
he
there all
spend
the
a
time.
lot of time there?
Yeah, he actually does. I met him through the Bigfoot world. He
Okay.
had an encounter by himself, well, not by himself, but he was with his paranormal team, and they ran into a group of Bigfoot. They got surrounded and got stuff thrown at them, and it scared the hell out of them. And now me and him, we're the best of friends, and
Mm,
so we hang out all the time, and so we always go to I call it his location, he calls it our location,
okay.
but yeah,
And that's one thing I love about Parapost, And I know we talked about it earlier. That's one thing I love is, meeting other investigators
yeah,
and meeting other people in the field and becoming friends.
right,
And because you can meet somebody that's from the UK that you never knew about, and
right,
you start watching their videos and you enjoy what they do, and then on top of that, you might learn a few things that you
right,
never thought of
right,
that you can do on your investigation. And that's why I love the platform, and I love hearing those stories about how you've made good friends in the paranormal world, and
right,
you go out investigating together. And those are I love the paranormal. I have a huge passion for it, but at the end of the day, it's about meeting the people and collabing and capturing that evidence together and just having an amazing time.
yeah. Some of my best friends, have Shane Church, Lupin Mendoza, Big Dog, Walter. Now, I would have never met these guys if it wasn't for this crazy field. And
Yeah, there you go. See, that's what I'm
yeah, and,
talking
and like I said, man, they're some of my best friends, and you know, uh, we talk to each other constantly. It has nothing to do with Bigfoot or paranormal or anything. We just talk to each other
Yeah.
all the time. Man,
Yeah.
I'm so glad I met those guys. Um, and
Yeah.
then, I mean, there's a whole list of people that I've met. In the UFO community, man, I've come close with one person in particular. So glad I met that person, and the paranormal field is just full of great people.
It
So
is. It is. It's full of amazing people. And even within the last couple of months, I've met some amazing people in the industry, and I look forward to the future because I'm going to meet a hell of a lot more.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So do you have anything you want to share with people as far as like once again telling them where to find your
Yeah,
content?
for sure. You can find me. Well, there's several platforms you can find me. One you can find me on, and I'll start off with Parapost first. How about that?
Yeah.
Parapost Network. You can find me there, and then you can find me on Instagram under Hunterphobia, and also Parapost Network is also on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube under Hunterphobia. I also have a show called Through the Lens that I do on Sundays. And what that show is, we bring on smaller YouTube channels to help them grow. And that's so we interview them, and that's called Through the Lens with Brian and Lex. My partner in that, he's from the UK, and his name is Lex Paranormal, and he's a great guy. You can find me on Facebook on Bryan Jon Laverty as my public page, or whatever you want to call it, my profile, or whatever you want to call it, my personal page, I guess. And Hunterphobia and Friends is the public page. The private page is Hunterphobia. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on TikTok. So I put little videos up on TikTok. So that seems to be doing extremely well as well. And what else? Is that it? I think that's it. That's a lot, though. That's a lot.
That's a lot, man. Yeah, so basically, you're not a hard man to find.
Well, no, I guess not. I guess you can put it like that. Yeah.
And so, like, what advice would you have for like newcomers, somebody who wants to start investigating into the paranormal? You have any advice for them?
Yeah, and it's funny because I've been asked this question before, and I think it's a great question because there are a lot of people coming into the paranormal world and trying it for the first time. I always tell people, first things first, don't go out and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on equipment. That's the first thing. Go out, you have a phone, you have a voice recorder on your phone, and go out and film something like maybe a local haunted spot. Go out and film something, do a voice recording. If you capture something great, and if you love it and you want to do it again, then I would suggest maybe looking into maybe a few pieces of equipment, obviously maybe a better camera. But the big thing is research. If you're going to a location, try to find out what that location is about. And more times than not, if you know what the location is and what's going on there, and if you talk about that during your investigation, you're more than likely going to catch something. That's my personal feeling. And so if you for example, if a woman has died there and her name is, whatever, and you start speaking to her and she talks back to you through your voice recording, you've captured, or that what I'm trying to say is it's good to know your history and research on the place when you go out to an investigation. That's kind of what I'm saying. And, go out and try it and have some fun. Don't be overly serious about it. And if you enjoy it and you want to continue doing it, my suggestion, this is me personally, try to find a local group, a local paranormal group that you can go out with and maybe go on an investigation, like a real paranormal investigation, and reach out to a group and see if they will allow you to come out with them so you can see if you like it. And there's so many different things you can do, and which I did. I did that when I was getting into it. I knew somebody who knew a paranormal group, and I went out with them a few times. And so that's what I did. But the bottom line is, don't go out and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on equipment, because you can go out the very first time and encounter something and might scare the crap out of you, and you never go again, and you've just wasted all your money on equipment. So, some people can do it and some people can't. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going into a real creepy spot and it scares the crap out of you and you don't stay longer than 5 minutes, might not be the right industry for you. You know what I mean? You might enjoy watching it, but actually doing it might be a different thing, because it's completely different when you're watching it on YouTube or TV or any of those things. So that would be my advice to people. It's pretty simple. I'm not overly complicated at all. So
Yeah. And I would just probably add, just respect wherever you're going. Respect those spirits.
Of course, that goes without saying. That's a given. But well,
it's funny. Not even some of these paranormal teams actually do that themselves. So.
But my feeling, on it is, if you're a professional team and you're a professional person, or you take your paranormal investigation serious, you don't have to worry about that stuff. You know what I mean? So, but then you got people out there that are just, to find something and just be idiots. I understand that, but I'm talking about people that are serious or wanted to get into it seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. That's our hour. Believe it or not, it went by pretty quick, dude.
Like 10 minutes.
Dang, yeah,
That
it
was
just went
great,
by.
man. You know
Yeah, it
what?
was great.
I,
Yeah,
I love talking about it. I could talk about it for
yeah.
hours.
I
And
can see that, man. I'd love to have you back on the show, man. You
yeah,
know?
that'd be great. I'd be more than happy to come back on. And one thing I would like to say, I really, really appreciate you having me on your show today. You seem like, this is the first time we've seen each other. We talked to
Yeah,
each other a little bit on Messenger, but
right.
you seem like a really great guy. And I've watched some of your shows, and you got a good show, man. You got a good show.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, dude.
Keep
And
going.
you too, man. Talking to you, man. Dude, you're a great guy. I can tell that already. And thanks for being so understanding about rescheduling the show, man. I appreciate that so much, man.
I was looking forward to this, and actually, Angelina and Christina from Bad to the Bone really said some really good things about you.
Oh, yeah.
So I was looking forward to this show.
Cool, man. Well, yeah, I mean, they're great. I mean, I love them just like that. You know.
I would have
Really
to
good.
say, and I'm going to be honest, I have to say that I was a little disappointed when you messaged me and you said we're going to have to reschedule. I go, oh shit,
Yeah,
like I was looking forward to coming on your show and talking to you.
yeah.
So, but I'm glad we did it, and
Oh, man. Yeah.
I'd be
Like I
more
said,
than
we
happy
have to
to
do it
come back.
again, man. This went by way too fast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you ever want me to come back on the show, just reach out and I'm there for you.
Yes, sir. I sure will. And everyone else, thanks a lot for participating in the chat room. I appreciate that greatly. And I think I have a show Monday. I'm not for sure, but I'll look at the schedule and I'll definitely post. Yeah, I do have a show Monday. So I'll be posting that over the weekend. And in the meantime, guys, y'all have a great evening and enjoy your weekend. Y'all guys be safe, and we'll see you next time. Hold on, real quick, Mike.
Be safe, everyone.
If it'll end.